Hey everyone, and welcome to Mira Developer. Today, we're diving into the absolute bedrock of programming, Python's 4 essential data structures. Trust me, if you want to build real applications, you have to get these down.
I want to start with something that's just super important. You see, if you don't get how to organize data, you're really just playing with code. But the moment you understand data structures, that's when you start building real, powerful software. It's literally non-negotiable.
I mean, just think about it. Every single app you use, from a shopping site to your favorite social media, is all about juggling collections of data, right? It's got to handle products, users, messages. We're talking thousands, even millions of little pieces of information.
So that brings up a really big question. How in the world do programmers handle all this data without making a total mess? I mean, there's got to be a better way than making a new variable for every single item, right?
Okay, let's make this super concrete. So on the left, you've got the inefficient way. One variable for every single product. Can you imagine a store with thousands of products? This would be an absolute nightmare. Now, look at the smart way on the right. We're using just one single variable to hold everything. And that, my friends, is the power of a data structure.
So yeah, that's pretty much the official definition. A data structure is just a container. It's a way to store and organize a bunch of related values all inside one variable. And learning this, it's the secret to writing clean, scalable, and honestly, professional-looking code.
All right, so let's jump into our first tool in the toolkit. And honestly, this is the one you're going to use most of the time. It's the list. I really love this analogy. Think of it as the shopping list for your code. It's simple, it's organized, and it just gets the job done.
Okay, first things first. Check out the syntax. Whenever you're in Python and you see these square brackets, ding, 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 you're looking at a list. It's just a super clean and simple way to group stuff together.
You know, every data structure kind of has its own personality, its own rules. A list has 3 main things you need to know. First up, it's ordered. That means chocolate is always going to be at the start unless you decide to move it. Second, it's changeable. The fancy word is mutable, which just means you can mess with it after you've made it. And last but not least, it's totally cool with duplicates.
So, how do we actually use a list? Well, we can grab an item by its position, which we call an index. And a quick pro tip, we programmers always start counting from 0. We can also swap an item for something else or tack a new one onto the end using a handy little command called append. Yeah, it's just super flexible.
Okay, next up in our toolkit is the tuple. And a great way to think about this one is data set in stone. It's kind of like a list's older, stricter sibling who doesn't like change.
And right away, you can see the visual cue is different. Instead of those square brackets, tuples use parentheses or round brackets. It seems like a tiny change, just a symbol, but believe me, it makes a huge difference in how it behaves. So here, for example, we're storing a set of coordinates.
And here it is, the one huge difference. With our list, swapping an item out, no problem at all. But if you try to do that same thing with a tuple, bam, Python throws an error and stops you in your tracks. And that's because tuples are immutable. It's a fancy way of saying once you make it, you can't change it. Ever.
So you might be thinking, why on earth would I want something I can't change? Well, it's all about safety. You use a tuple for data that you absolutely, positively do not want to change by accident. Think about things like map coordinates that shouldn't move or critical settings for your app. It's basically a way to protect your data from yourself and from future bugs.
All right, tool number 3, let's talk about the set. This one has one job, one single-minded purpose. No duplicates allowed. It's like the bouncer at a club for your data, making sure everyone inside is one of a kind.
Okay, check this out. Look what happens automatically. We're trying to make a set here with 3 threes in it, but when we print it out, Python has already tossed out the extras. The final set just has one of each number. That's its superpower. And the syntax you're looking for here? Curly brackets.
So, the set's personality is pretty straightforward. It's obsessed with uniqueness. And unlike a list, it's also unordered. It doesn't care what order the items are in. This makes it absolutely perfect for stuff like getting a list of unique user IDs or finding all the unique tags on a website.
And that brings us to our fourth, and you could argue most powerful tool, the dictionary. I love to call this the label maker for your data because it lets you stop worrying about positions like 0, 1, 2 and start using actual, meaningful labels.
Now, a dictionary also uses those curly brackets like a set, but what's inside is completely different. It stores everything in what we call key-value pairs. So instead of position 0, we have a key called name, and its value is chocolate. See? Instead of position 1, we have the key price, and its value is 2.5.
So this is the basic idea. Every piece of data, the value, is tied to a unique label, the key. It is such an intuitive way to represent things from the real world. You know, like a product that has a name and a price and a certain number in stock.
And using a dictionary is just so clear. You don't have to remember what was in position 0. You just ask for the value attached to the key name. You can change the stock level just by referencing the stock key. You can even add a brand new piece of info, like a category, whenever you want. It's just so flexible and descriptive. I love it.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. We have just walked through the 4 fundamental tools that are at the absolute heart of pretty much every Python application you'll ever see. This really is your core developer toolkit.
Okay, so if you remember one thing, make it this. The list, with its square brackets, that's your everyday go-to collection. It's ordered, it's flexible. The tuple, with parentheses, is for ordered data that you need to lock down so it can't be changed. The set, with curly brackets, is your specialist for when all you care about is having unique items. And finally, the dictionary, for when you need to structure your data with custom labels using those awesome key-value pairs.
So why does all this matter so much? It's because these 4 things are the building blocks for, well, everything else. It doesn't matter if you're building a website, automating some boring task, pulling data from an API, or working with a database, you are going to be using lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries all day, every day.
Getting a solid handle on these data structures is really your first giant leap toward becoming a real developer. So now that you know how to store data, what's next? Well, in our next explainer, we're going to cover how to make your programs think and make decisions with that data using if statements and loops. Are you ready for that? Let us know down in the comments, give us a like, and of course, subscribe to Mira Developer so you don't miss that crucial next step. We'll see you in the next one.